Hey gentlemen, welcome back. I'm a stylist and consultant. I've sat across from CEOs, surgeons, and self-made millionaires and told them exactly what was costing them before they even realized it themselves. Not guesses, not theory. Real rooms, real men, real results. If you're new here, you found the right place. If you've been here, you know we don't waste your time. Let's get into it. Last month, Boardroom, my client, runs a logistics company worth 8 figures. Sharp suit, perfect posture, commands every room he walks into. But the moment we sat down, the senior partner across the table glanced at his wrist and looked away. Just like that. A bright orange rubber-strap fitness tracker on a man negotiating a 9-figure contract. That one glance said amateur. Not because the watch was cheap, because it was completely wrong for that moment. Nobody said anything. Nobody had to. The room had already decided something about him. I saw it happen in real time. Today I'm going to make sure it never happens to you. If this is already hitting home, hit like. It puts this in front of men who need it. Subscribe if you're serious about showing up at your level. Drop a comment. Tell me what you're working with. And check the other videos. We've covered a lot that connects directly to this. Here's what nobody tells you. At 40, 50, 60, the room reads you differently. You're not the young guy anymore. You're the man who's supposed to know. And in high-stakes environments, every detail on your body is being processed before you speak. Your watch is not decoration. It's data. It tells the room your taste level, your self-awareness, your attention to detail. I've sat with men who built incredible businesses, held serious authority, earned genuine respect, and their wrist was quietly contradicting everything, not because they couldn't afford better, because nobody ever told them what the watch was actually communicating. A wrong watch on a man of your caliber doesn't just look off. It creates doubt, and doubt is expensive. Today I'm giving you exactly what I give my private clients, so your wrist starts working for you, not against you. Mistake 1. Wearing a sports watch to everything. I had a client, senior partner at a law firm, brilliant man. Every part of his appearance was considered, except his wrist. Every single day, every single meeting, every client dinner, same Garmin GPS running watch. He'd worn it for years. It was comfortable, familiar. He didn't think twice. But here's what the room was thinking. This man doesn't understand context. A sports watch belongs on a trail, at the gym, on a weekend, not across the table from a client paying premium fees for premium counsel. It signals that you stop paying attention somewhere. I told him straight, get a clean, simple dress watch. Nothing flashy. Longines, Tizot, even a modest Seiko. Slim profile, leather strap, neutral dial. 2 weeks later, he told me 3 different clients complimented his presence in the room. Same man, different wrist. Everything shifted. Mistake 2. The wrong case size for their wrist. I worked with a financial advisor. Successful, well-dressed, good instincts. But on his wrist sat a 47 millimeters oversized chronograph that swallowed his armhole. He bought it because it looked powerful in the display case. On his wrist, it looked like a costume. The watch was wearing him. Here's the rule I use with every client. Measure your wrist. 6 inches or under. Stay between 38 millimeters and 42 millimeters. 6 to 7 inches. 40 millimeters to 44 millimeters fits cleanly. Over 7 inches. You can carry 44 millimeters to 46 millimeters with confidence. The case should sit within your wrist edges. No overhang. No gap. When proportion is right, the watch disappears into your presence. It enhances you rather than distracting from you. That financial advisor switched to a 40 millimeters dress watch. Suddenly the watch felt intentional, authoritative. That's exactly what it should feel like. Mistake 3. Chasing logos over substance. I had a client, real estate developer, did very well for himself. Walked into our first session, wearing a watch with a brand name printed across the dial in bold letters. He wanted the room to know what he was wearing. I told him straight, the men you're trying to impress already know. And that watch is telling them you bought a name, not a timepiece. Here's what sophisticated men actually look for. Movement quality, dial craftsmanship, case finishing, the story behind the piece. A clean Jaeger LeCoultre with no screaming logo carries more weight in a serious room than a logo plaster fashion watch at twice the price. Why? Because restraint communicates security. It says you don't need validation. You've already arrived. The men who truly know watches, and those are exactly the men in your rooms, respect quiet confidence over loud branding every single time. I worked with a cardiologist. 20 years of practice. Respected in his field. He was wearing a fashion watch he bought at an airport a decade ago. Never thought about it. I told him, this one thing is quietly working against everything you've built. He was skeptical. We fixed it. 3 weeks later, he called me. He said patients were responding differently. More trust. Faster. Same doctor. Same office. Different wrist. That's the power of getting this right. And if you're not subscribed yet, do it now. This community is built specifically for you. Mistake 4. Wrong strap for the occasion. I had a client, senior executive at a consulting firm, owned a beautiful Omega Seamaster. Solid watch. Serious watch. But he was wearing it on a rubber strap to every client presentation. The watch was right. The strap was killing it. Here's the hierarchy I give every client. Rubber, gym, outdoor activities, weekend sport. Nothing else. NATO strap, casual weekends, travel, relaxed environments. Leather strap, business meetings, client dinners, professional settings. Brown leather for warmer tones. Black leather for formal occasions. Metal bracelet, boardroom. Evening events, anywhere you need to project polished authority. The same watch tells 4 completely different stories, depending on what holds it to your wrist. I told that executive to swap to a dark brown leather strap. Same watch. Completely different signal. The room felt it immediately. 1 strap change. 0 extra cost. Total transformation. Mistake 5. Neglecting the dial complexity trap. I had a client, seasoned investment banker, sharp mind, measured personality, but on his wrist sat a watch with chronograph, tachymeter scale, 3 subdials, and a moon phase complication. He never used a single function. Not once. I asked him why he chose it. He said it looked impressive. Here's the truth I gave him. In a room full of men who understand watches, unnecessary complications read as overcompensation. It says you needed the watch to do the talking. Simplicity says the opposite. A clean 2 or 3 hand dial. Hours, minutes, seconds. Projects total confidence. It says you are the complication. You don't need distractions on your wrist. The most powerful men I've dressed with the most restrained dials. A simple Grand Seiko. A clean Patek Philippe Calatrava. Nothing to prove. Everything already communicated. That banker switched. The room noticed immediately. Most men who come to me first bought watches the same way they bought their first car. Biggest number wins. But price without context is just noise. I've seen a $30,000 watch destroy a man's credibility in a boardroom, and an $800 watch command instant respect. Stop buying price tags. Start buying appropriateness. Right watch, right room. That's the only formula that works. Mistake 6. Ignoring watch to outfit coordination. I had a client, accomplished architect, owned 4 exceptional watches, but he was pairing them completely randomly. Yellow gold watch with a cool gray suit. Stainless steel bracelet with a warm brown ensemble. Sporty dial with a tuxedo. Great watches, 0 coordination. Here are the rules I walk every client through. Cool skin tones in gray, navy, charcoal outfits. Pair with silver or white gold cases. Warm skin tones in brown, camel, olive outfits. Pair with yellow gold or rose gold cases. Formal suit, slim leather strap, clean dial, nothing competing with the lapel. Business casual, metal bracelet, simple dress watch, confident but relaxed. Smart casual weekend, NATO or leather, slightly sportier dial acceptable. Never let the watch fight the outfit. They should feel like the same sentence. That architect restructured his entire rotation using these rules. Every combination finally made sense. Mistake 7. The vintage trap without the knowledge. I had a client, successful media executive, walked in wearing a vintage Rolex date just from the 1970s. Beautiful piece. But the moment someone at dinner asked him about it, he froze. Couldn't name the reference number. Didn't know the movement inside. Had no idea what made it significant. The watch went from sophisticated to suspicious in 30 seconds. Here's the line I draw with every client. Vintage worn with knowledge is one of the most powerful signals a man over 40 can project. It says history, taste, depth. Vintage worn as costume says I bought credibility I haven't earned. Before you wear any vintage piece, know 3 things. What reference it is, what era it came from, why it matters. That executive spent 2 weeks learning his watch. Went back to the same dinner crowd. Completely different response. The watch finally matched the man wearing it. A private equity director called me 5 weeks after we overhauled his watch rotation. He said something I'll never forget. He said, I walked into a negotiation last week, and the other side's lead partner looked at my wrist and nodded. Just nodded. No words. He said he felt the entire energy of that room shift before anyone spoke. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when every detail finally aligns with the man you become. Mistake 8. Wearing a watch that doesn't fit the life stage. I had a client, 52 years old, COO of a manufacturing group, still wearing the Fossil watch he bought at 28 when he landed his first real job. It meant something to him. I respected that. But here's what it was communicating to every room he walked into. This man hasn't updated his standards. At 28, that watch said ambition. At 52, it says stagnation. Your watch should grow with your achievements. Early career, affordable, clean, reliable. Mid-career, quality movement, respected brand, intentional choice. Over 40, a watch that reflects mastery, longevity, and quiet authority. You are not the same man you were at 28. Your wrist should reflect the distance you traveled. I helped that COO select a pre-owned IWC Portugueser. Classic, substantial, timeless. He told me it felt like finally wearing his actual life. That's exactly what the right watch should feel like. Here's what I share privately with every client at this level. First, service history matters as much as the watch itself. Always ask for it. Second, buy the seller before you buy the watch. A trusted dealer protects you long-term. Third, pre-owned is not second class. Some of the most impressive watches I've put on serious men cost half of retail. And the one question I tell every client to ask before buying, does this watch still make sense on my wrist in 10 years? If the answer is yes, buy it. Mistake 9, over-polishing the bracelet. I had a client, retired military officer turned corporate consultant, owned a stunning vintage Omega Seamaster he'd had for 15 years. Took it to a jeweler every single year for a full polish. He thought he was maintaining it. He was destroying it. Here's what I told him. Natural wear on a bracelet tells a story. Slight brushing on the links. Soft edges on the case. To someone who truly knows watches, that patina communicates authenticity, history, and ownership. It says this watch has lived. Over-polishing removes that story permanently. It also rounds the edges of the case, eliminates the contrast between brushed and polished surfaces, and significantly reduces collector value. What to do instead? Clean with a soft brush and warm water. Light maintenance only. Let the watch age naturally and gracefully, just like the man wearing it should. Character is never something you polish away. Mistake 10. No watch at all. I had a client, highly successful tech entrepreneur, brilliant man, hadn't worn a watch in 6 years. Told me his phone told the time perfectly. I told him straight, a watch was never about telling time, not at your level. When you walk into a serious room with a bare wrist, here is what registers. Unfinished, unconsidered, like a suit with no pocket square. Technically functional, but something important is missing. A watch anchors your entire presence. It signals intentionality. It says, I dress with purpose from my collar to my cuff, beyond aesthetics. Pulling out your phone to check time in a meeting communicates distraction and disrespect. Glancing at your wrist communicates composure and control. That entrepreneur put on a clean Rolex Explorer. Nothing complicated. Just right. He called me 2 weeks later, completely converted. The bare wrist was the most expensive mistake he never knew he was making. Listen, you spent decades building something real. Your reputation, your expertise, your authority. Every room you enter should reflect that fully, from your handshake to your wrist. I've watched men completely transform how they're received simply by getting this one detail right. Not because a watch makes the man, but because the right watch tells a room, this man misses nothing. That level of attention, that intentionality, it's contagious. People feel it. Rooms respond to it. You've already done the hard work. Now let every single detail finally match it. If it's open your eyes, hit like. Someone you know needs this today. Subscribe and stay with us. There's more coming built specifically for your level. Drop a comment below. Tell me what's on your wrist right now. More videos are waiting for you on this channel. Stay sharp, gentlemen. You've earned it.